Welcome back to another week of 52 Weeks of Gaming. This week decided to go into Just Cause 4 because given, the state of how everything in the world is going, I think disaster kind of, fits the mood. It's a bit topical. And so that was why I went with Just Cause 4. But Just Cause 4 being the latest game in the Just Cause series, came out in 2018, published still by developed by Avalanche Studios, published by Square Enix. Don't want to flip those two. On the major consoles in terms of Windows, PS4, and Xbox, and it kind of continues these adventures of the nice, suave Rico Rodriguez. This time it takes place in Solis, because a bit spoilers from the beginning. Rico's there due to a machine that his dad built that he's there to take down, and kind of just, what happens with Rico. He gets involved with crazy things in the area and has to go and fight down a dictatorship government. And typical things that go and happen, so mechanics are very similar to 3, just obviously they have to do improvements and things of that nature. But I always loved the Just Cause games because of how ridiculous everything is. Because, you have all these crazy guns, and 3, you have these rockets that can go and send a cow to the moon essentially, and you can grapple a bunch of things together. And it was just really cool sort of mechanics, and I enjoyed that sort of thing with the Red Faction, Red Faction Armageddon, for example. And so I like that in 3. And in 4, they decided to kind of up it by putting in this weather system and these hazards, because it's all about this weather system that you have to take down on the island. And so you have a sandstorm, you have tornadoes, you have thunderstorms, and it's a bit tricky for each different thing in order to figure out how to go and navigate it. But it also opens up for plenty of cool guns down the line, like the wind gun to just, blast people away. And it's an improvement, I think, to Just Cause 3. I think they did a great job improving it and using it as a foundation for how the game is, to then go and take it up a step. It's just always madness to me, and there's always things that I'm like this, where it's oh, we gotta go and free a territory, so I go and do all those missions to free all the areas, and then you try to, wingsuit halfway across the map just to go and traverse, because while you could go and call in a fast travel, it's just, fun sometimes just to see what you can do with the environment and see how crazy things can get. And that's what makes this game fun, is just the over-the-top ridiculousness that the game has. And so here they go and do these zones where you have the militia that you kind of almost help form by showing up against the Black Hand, who always the enemy. That you have these different zones and front lines that they're going and fighting over, that you can go and see, and the environments change based on the areas that you unlock. So what would possibly be a front zone obviously changes when you unlock it, but it's just really dynamic in that sense, and interesting, and always fun to go through and meet new characters and be oh, who does Rico win over this time, to show just how awesome and badass and James Bond he really is. And it's a lot of fun. I absolutely enjoy it. I think it's a game that you should probably play the previous ones, at least 3, maybe the first 2, just to kind of get an idea of who Rico Rodriguez is. I mean, you could jump straight into Just Cause 4 and kind of just pick it up and be oh, here's this cool guy, like I did with The Witcher. And because it's not a lot of the characters are really carried over between the games. There's a few. You have Mr. Tom, who's the red, white, and American fantastic fella who works for the agency, which I don't want to get too much into spoilers for this. But there's a lot to Just Cause 4 that you can go and do that's different from 3, and adding in Easter eggs, and just overall how the weapons are with alternate firing modes, and a lot of different enemies, and just how you go and kind of play about the game is a bit different, but it's still a lot of fun. It still was something that you end up completing most of the objectives and the progression in the game without even realizing it by unlocking all these zones, and the mindlessness of all of that is always fun. And I always enjoy those sorts of things, and that's kind of why I enjoyed Just Cause 3, and definitely why I enjoyed Just Cause 4. So, did I perfect it? No. Am I going to go back to it? Probably not. Similar to 3. Not really into going now, having to slowly go through everything. It's a fun game to go and do mindless things in, but there's some things that I'm just like, these are too tedious to kind of grind out. Maybe eventually, but who knows? Until then, I'm just going to go on market and say, yeah, no, Just Cause is a fantastic series, and Just Cause 4 is a great game.